In Melbourne's southeast, two soccer clubs have come together for a pre-season hit-out. But this contest means much more than football. At the centre of it is the life of young Melbourne man, Will Taylor.
Most importantly, a remembrance with, hopefully with a bit of smile, a bit of enjoyment, because Will deserves that.
Just one of the most beautiful people you'll ever meet, to be taken away at such a young age with his life in front of him, and someone who is engaged with the community, a family man as well. It doesn't get more tragic than that.
The 28-year-old was on his way to soccer training in July last year when the car he was driving was involved in a high-speed collision with a stolen car in Melbourne's southeast. Will was killed. The 17-year-old boy accused of driving the stolen car allegedly fled the scene.
My name's Nick Taylor, this is Denise.
Will Taylor's family have kept their grief private in the 8 months since his high-profile death, but on the weekend they lent their voice to the inaugural Will Taylor Memorial Cup, designed to raise money for charity.
On behalf of the Taylor family and Ashburton United and Mount Waverley City Soccer Clubs, thank you so much for your participation today in support of the Will Taylor Charity Cup. It means so much to us.
Campbell Woolacott was a friend of Will's who he met at the local soccer club more than 10 years ago.
They're a beautiful family. Like Will, they're really engaged with their local community.
I admire all of them. It's an amazing family, and it's a testament to what Will was.
5 teenagers, the youngest just 13, have been arrested after a stolen car crashed at St Kilda.
Will Taylor's death came at a time of heightened community frustration and anger about youth crime, which has been escalating for the past 2 years.
6 teenagers, including a 14-year-old boy, have been cornered and arrested in a Hawthorn backyard after an armed crime spree across dozens of Melbourne suburbs.
Victorians regularly wake up to overnight reports of car thefts, home invasions and high-speed chases involving children as young as 10.
So the way cars are stolen, you need a key now. You can't hotwire a car for most of the modern vehicles. And in order to get that key, you need to go into somebody's home to get that key.
It's just before 5 in the morning and 2 masked intruders have broken into this Mornington Peninsula house. 7:30 has obtained this security vision which shows the pair, armed with knives, combing through the house looking for car keys for almost an hour. They eventually woke the sleeping occupants, demanding the keys before driving away with the 2 cars.
It is the disregard for themselves and for the community with some of this dangerous behaviour. Travelling at more than 200 kilometres an hour in a stolen car is dangerous.
In the last 12 months in Victoria, crimes committed by children have increased to their highest level since 2009. Police say children make up around 10% of all offenders, but are overrepresented in key crimes, with almost half of all aggravated burglaries and more than a quarter of car thefts committed by children.
The levels of crime they're committing is significant, it really is. More than we've seen, 20, 30 years ago with that same, age group. So definitely an impact, and that's a real change of behaviour.
Looking closer, since 2014, the number of alleged crimes committed by 14 to 17-year-olds has spiked, but the number of alleged youth offenders have remained largely the same.
So there's a group of around about 300 children and young people that commit these crimes, and they're predominantly between the ages of 14 and 17, so they're within the children category.
Commander Mark Galliot heads up Victoria Police's Operation Trinity and Operation Alliance, which target car thefts and aggravated burglaries and youth gang crime. Can you paint the profile of the sort of typical offender?
They come from a range of different families, different cultures, different education standards.
Is there anything common about this core group?
What is common is they don't really care about the consequences. They don't think about that next step, And some of our traditional levers in society don't work. It's a core group of offenders. So of the 300 or so within that group, there's a group of 20 that commit about 20 or 25% of the total number of offences.
We've got a particular cohort of young people for whom those intervention programs are not working, and some of our sanctions are not as effective, and our cautioning programs aren't as effective.
Reforms to the youth justice system, proposed in August last year, only passed Parliament in December. They include tighter bail laws for repeat offenders, a dedicated youth magistrate to fast-track their cases, and a trial of electronic monitoring for up to 50 offenders, still to be rolled out in the coming months.
The changes that we've brought in are a response in part to the community's concern that they're not seeing enough accountability on those who continue to flout the law.
In the days following Will Taylor's death last year, the Premier acknowledged growing community concern.
We clearly need to do more. We need to listen.
And last week, acknowledging the issue remains front of mind for Victorians, Premier Jacinta Allen announced a further review of the state's bail laws.
The writing instructions to the Attorney-General and the Police Minister are to go away, review the current laws, including bail, and provide advice to the government.
Away from the justice system, the Taylors and their footballing family believe sport is a positive outlet for young people and are raising funds for a charity which gives marginalised kids an opportunity to experience it.
It's just really important that as a community we make something of it and turn it into a positive to some extent. And so days like today and contributions towards a charity that were reflective of Will's beliefs is really important, and that's the best way to deal with those emotions that we're all feeling. There's no sort of joy and happiness. There's a celebration of his life and then trying to turn it into a positive.